at me, what is wrong with me this morning? I don't know what's going on. Hey, actually, I'm really excited about this morning because we're continuing our sermon series. It's called A Heavenly Perspective. A Heavenly Perspective. And what we're doing, we're looking through various passages in the New Testament book called 2 Corinthians. And in case you're wondering, well, what do you mean when you say heavenly perspective? Well, heavenly perspective means that we go through life seeing our circumstances and our situations just like God sees them. We see them from a spiritual perspective. In other words, we react to everything in our lives. Even if life is really, really difficult, we react in a godly way with heaven firmly in mind. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about this idea of having a heavenly perspective. But let's face it, that's easier said than done, isn't it? To have a heavenly perspective 24/7. I don't know about you, but at times, I wish this wasn't so, but at times I feel like my faith is sort of on autopilot. You know what I mean? I'm just sort of mindlessly going through life, and I find myself going through stretches where, am I really in tune with the Lord? Am I thinking about the Lord? Am I thinking about heaven? Sometimes I think our faith does go on autopilot. We do take our faith for granted, perhaps, and we react to life from an earthly perspective and not a heavenly perspective. Have you ever had this? I mean, can anybody identify with this? You're going through your day, maybe it's like 1 o'clock, mid-afternoon, whatever, 2 or 3, and you get a quiet moment, and then all of a sudden you think, wow, you know what? I don't think I thought about God all day. You ever had that thought? Maybe, just maybe, you have that same thought, only it's not, I haven't thought about God all day. Maybe you conclude, oh my gosh, I don't think I thought about God since Sunday. You ever thought about that? Sometimes our faith, I think if we're honest, is on autopilot. We take our faith for granted, and we don't have a heavenly perspective. We don't see life here on earth through the lens of the way God sees it. We're just going through life sort of in a dull way, sort of coasting through life. As a matter of fact, I would sort of describe that kind of attitude as being complacent. And you know what? If we're really, 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 really brave, we might even use the L word, lazy. Maybe we're just tiny little bit lazy when it comes to our faith. We're not just faithfully living out our faith. We don't have a heavenly perspective. We're just on autopilot. I'm saved. I'm going to heaven, whatever. Yeah. Anybody identify with that? Sometimes I think maybe we just get a little complacent, a little lazy. And if you want to see lazy, I want to show us this video here, just a real brief video. And if you want to see lazy, I think this guy here epitomizes lazy. So Lee, if you could please play that video, I appreciate it. Video games, or you know somebody who plays video games, now come on, it's very addicting, and you sort of play like hour after hour after hour, and your eyes get like little slits, but you're just magnetized, you're just focused, you just keep on playing. And I just love this video because the guy starts out and I love that opening scene. He's eating Twinkies, immediately you get the feel for, oh, this guy is just really kind of slow and lazy, kind of coasting here. The next scene, he's like stuffing pizza in his mouth, and now he's stuffing on the couch, and he's slouching now. Then the next scene, my favorite scene is when he's guiding the controls with his feet. He's just really getting lazier. And the next scene, he's asleep, and there's a control going around on the ceiling fan. He's just totally lazy. What a lazy, what a complacent guy. And you know what? As I watch that video, I wonder, is that what God sees when He looks at us, His children, living out our faith? Is that what he sees when he looks down at us? Are we laying on the couch, Twinkie stuff sort of in the corner of our mouth, half asleep, just mindlessly going? We don't have a heavenly perspective. We have an earthly perspective. We're not being faithful. We're not living out our faith. We're just sort of on autopilot. Is that what God wants for us? No, obviously not. He doesn't want us to be like that. He wants us to have that heavenly perspective. He wants us to be faithful in terms of living out our faith. And that's where we're going to go today. In fact, if you think about it, I think all of us, if we are faithful, if we're not being lazy when it comes to our faith, laying on the couch, if we're bright-eyed and we see everything the way God sees it, we're living out our faith, God would obviously be pleased with that, right? But if we're going to see today, and this is where we're really going to focus on, is not is God pleased with it when we're not on autopilot, when we have heavenly perspective. There's huge benefits for us. There's huge benefits for you, and there's huge benefits for me. For example, did you know that every single thing that we do here in this life is impacting our heavenly future? Did you know that? What we're doing right now, this very moment, if you're paying attention, or maybe a little napping a little bit, that's impacting what heaven is going to be like for you someday. Did you know that? When we please God here on earth, in this life, it can actually positively impact heaven in some way. And we're going to talk about that today. And did you also know this, that even as a Christian, did you know that even as a Christian, you're going to have to stand before Jesus Christ, and so am I. We're going to have to answer for everything that we've done in this life. Everything. Whether good or bad. Did you know that? And because of that, we can't afford, in terms of our faith, we can't afford to be laying down on the couch, can we? We can't go. We can't afford to have our faith on autopilot. Why? Because everything that we do in this life is actually impacting what will happen in the future. Now, at this point, some of you might be sort of maybe a little uncomfortable. Wait a minute, are you talking about somehow earning our salvation? No, I'm not talking about that at all. We're saved by the grace of God through faith. It's not of ourselves. It's the gift of God. Not by works, so no one could boast. No, we are saved by the grace of God. But what we're talking about here is heavenly rewards. When we please God now, we're building up heavenly rewards that we will enjoy by the grace of God in our future. So, are you here today? And does this kind of intrigue you? Sort of excite you that, hey, by being faithful now, I can actually impact heaven in some way and make it